Hey, welcome to the show. I'm the Crypto Kid, and in these videos, we take a look at Bitcoin and everything that's going on in the world of cryptocurrency. So if you're new to the show, welcome. We make daily videos and keep it relevant to what's going on in the news. And if you're joining us again, welcome back. Let's jump right in and take a look at BitcoinCash this morning. Now, as you can see right now, we are currently sitting at 2,700 USD, and we did hit a little bit of a floor earlier at around just below that $2,700 mark. And if we take a step back, you can see exactly what I'm talking about here, where we saw some pretty substantial gains around $100 very quickly, and we did seem to sit around there for quite a while earlier today, but we saw a little bit of a retracement back, and we are seeing a little bit more volume here as well, and we are currently sitting around that $2,700 mark. Hopefully that's the floor that we've seen there, because as you know, we talked about yesterday, if we do break a little bit past that $2,500 mark, it could retrace even further. So hopefully today we can see some numbers coming back, and we can get up to those highs that we were talking about only about 3 or 4 days ago. Now if we hit that refresh, you can see there is a little bit of red across the board here over the last hour, but generally over the last 24 you're seeing a little bit of green coming back. More notably, Ripple has now taken that number 3 seat, which we've seen them do a few times. XRP here has jumped, kind of fluctuated with BitcoinCash in terms of a competing market cap, but in my opinion that won't be maintained too long, as BitcoinCash surely will come back and just gain that market cap again. But you never know what can happen. I like to check out this site as well, as you know, and we've seen that Bitcoin Core is currently 6 times the price of cash. More notably, we are seeing the fees drop as well, which is nice. So anybody is holding Bitcoin Core and they've been looking to move it, now might be a better time as those fees come down, and you can actually gain some of that back as you move it, because as you know, moving any Bitcoin Core really just allows you to watch it crumble in front of your eyes. So it can be very, very painful when you're trying to move that around. So hopefully those lower fees will allow users to do that. And looking at Bitcoin Cash versus Core here in terms of hash rate percentage, again, we talked about this the other day. You're seeing a general trend of hash power coming back into Bitcoin Cash, or at least a trend in the upward direction there. And finally, if we want to take out the profitability with Bitcoin Cash, you can do that over on coinwars.com. And they've been sitting around that number 2 seat, which is really nice to see. We're just waiting for that volatility to drop in terms of difficulty, but we'll keep an eye on that. Now, the big story here today is over on bitcoin.com in the news, and that is of exchanges and government control. So you're seeing a lot of exchanges simply right now just be overwhelmed with the fact that there's so many users trying to get on board here. More notably, you've got Bittrex, which is saying that they have basically temporarily stopped accepting new accounts. You've also got CXIO with additional pressures on their support and verification teams. So if you're trying to get on board with this, I'm sure you've had family and friends ask you how to do this. I think they're just going to have to wait a little longer in terms of how to basically hold or purchase really those cryptocurrencies. And even Kraken is saying that their service is slightly degraded and it could potentially be unreliable over the short-sighted season, or the foreseeable future, I should say, because of these just influx of new users. But this brings me to my point here. And another article comes out about Korea today, and we've been talking about Korea. We've been following it along in terms of the government control and the banks regulating and what's happening over there. And this brings me to, I guess, kind of the main focus of the video today, and that is, exchanges are a third party. They are they're getting away from the Satoshi vision, because really Satoshi's vision, Bitcoin, is a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. So anytime we get involved here with regulators, we're really jumping into those third parties in the banks, which is really what Bitcoin was designed to, step away from and alleviate people away from. So what do I mean? Well, first of all, you've got the government of Korea and their financial authorities here saying that we will prohibit financial institutions from directly entering or trading in virtual currency markets. So that means that earlier in the month, when we were talking about the government actually introducing virtual currency accounts for users, requiring them to have an actual bank account in Korea, that's been taken away, mainly by the banks that wanted to see that not happen, and the government is now supporting that. But more so what you're seeing is credit card companies and service providers shut down. I mean, you've seen BitThumb was shut down, or at least the ability to pay with credit cards. That is no longer an option, and you're seeing a lot of this control. Now, why did they do that? Well, the financial authorities said that the service could be exploited by criminals using counterfeit credit cards. Well, to me, that's a joke. If they were really concerned about that and the actual people, then they would shut down the banks from printing money and thieving, taxation and high fees from their users. So this is really just about control, and that's always what it's about. And whenever you see those words, a third party or a trusted third party, in my opinion, there's no need for it, especially when you can hold your own private keys, which basically provides you control over your own money as well as the privacy in doing so. So there was an article I mentioned yesterday that just fits perfectly into this conversation, and that is from Wendy McElroy talking about the Satoshi Revolution. Yesterday's article I was talking more about part 5, and this is a great article. If you haven't got a chance to do it, again, I will leave a link in the description. But basically it is talking about how Satoshi's true vision was voided of third parties or equivalents regarding banks and government control. Now, basically, Bitcoin allowed users to get away with that peer-to-peer electronic cash. Trusted third parties are only a control mechanism which individuals are owned by the system, requiring permission to do it. It's preventing economic injustice, preventing any hopes for a future financial freedom for everyone. So there's a couple articles that talk about this in clarity, and this is one of them for sure. So I wanted to read a few quotes coming out of here, and why don't I put something visually appealing to check out while we're doing so. But I'm just going to read a few of them here directly from this article, not in one chunk. But blaming the free market is a tired and true excuse for government wedging itself into situations that would normally resolve themselves. The free market is also a reliable scapegoat for messes created by government and its crony capitalists. The free market is nothing more than individuals exchanging with each other in the absence of the state and other forms of force, including fraud. If force, theft, or fraud does occur, then no real true exchange is present, and the interaction ceases to be a free market act. It becomes a criminal one. Consider only one issue. If the free market allows individuals to assess situations and decide the best course for themselves, it allows them to learn from their experience and mistakes. It allows individuals to take control of their own lives. How cool is that? I couldn't agree with that more. And if we jump over, one of the last quotes that I'll read here is at the very end, talking about that sentence at the top of the white paper. And basically, with that sentence, Satoshi announced a gift to mankind. He didn't ask for payment. He didn't seek patents or copyrights. He didn't want personal recognition. It was a gift. His one sentence embodies what Bitcoin was meant to be. It expresses the essence that made people so excited that they devoted their lives to a cause. The words to focus upon are peer-to-peer and no trusted third party. Simple as that, and I couldn't agree more. So I definitely would encourage you to check that out. And as well, make sure that maybe you don't, maybe reassess, if you will, the need for an exchange. Sometimes it's better just to get what you need and get out from them. But again, if you can own your private keys, it's going to give you privacy and, again, control over your wealth. And that is what it's all about, financial and economic freedom for everyone. So hopefully today's video was enjoyed. I will leave links to this in the description. And if you want to head over to Twitter, there's a lot of art, a lot of information, and a great community over there. And we'd love to see it, and you're always welcome. So you can check us out on Twitter. Otherwise, we will see you in the next one. Take care.